Ahead and home this thing. So, do I want to home the machine? Okay. Alright, successfully homed this thing, so let's go ahead and put a bit in this. So I have a 30-degree 1/4-inch V-bit that I'm going to be using. And what I'm really going to be doing here is putting a bunch of lines on this anchor board so that I know where to drill my holes. I thought about making a program to drill all the holes all at the same time, but I thought that just might be a little bit of a step too far for me for the first thing that I do. So let's be a little conservative. Let's try and do this. Alright, we've got our bit in. Now what we're going to want to do is probe for Z. And let's hit probe for Z. Probe Z. Attach the probe magnet to the collet, touch the probe to the... Okay, let's touch it. Continue, I got a green light. Probing complete. Let's remove the probe lock. Okay, now comes the scary part. I wrote a program for this. I think it's right, but this is the first one I've ever written. Chances are very good that this is gonna go really bad, really fast. So I'm gonna be pretty quick to be reaching for the emergency shutoff on this thing. So let's go ahead and scroll down here. Let's go to that program. Okay, so this program that I wrote is supposed to make a line all the way around the circumference and then go ahead and divide this anchor board up into 1-inch sections on a grid pattern. So both in the X and the Y axis I should have 1-inch grid pattern. By the time I'm finished with this, and then I'll be able to go ahead and drill my holes for my anchors, for my threaded inserts, and we'll see. So let's go ahead and select this. Okay. Here goes nothing. Let me put my hand on that red button right there. Seems to be working. Well, hallelujah, I'm going to have to call this first operation a success. I have a nice grid pattern here, 1-inch squares, and I'm quite happy with that, and I'm just delighted that the machine didn't blow up when I pressed play. And so the next thing I'm going to do is pull this anchor board off, go ahead and put a spoil board on, and repeat this operation so that I have the same grid patterns on there. And then I'll drill some holes in both and then pin them together so that we can go ahead and do the drill operation for all the holes for the hold downs. Alright, I got my spoil board clamped down. I'm going to go ahead and run through this program again. And I expect the lines to be really close to the edge on this one because this is a little bit tighter tolerant. Alright, we've got this booted up. Home the machine. Let's do that. Alright, let's probe for Z. Okay, attach probe and magnet, touch block. Okay, continue. Probing complete. Done. Let's remove this. Let's go ahead and run this program. Stand by my red button here just in case things go south. Okay, put on the spindle. Turn it down a bit. And away we go. Alright, I'm drilling locating holes. 2 inches up and 2 inches in on both the anchor board and the spoil board, so I can put these things together and drill all the holes. Alright, pulling these pins out. Got it pretty well aligned. Gonna drill down into this a little bit to get the heads of the screws down and out of the way. Alright, that feels pretty solid. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and put a 1/4 inch drill bit up in here. Alright, I'm new to this, but as I was going through my Vectric software, I found a section where I could do some drilling. And so I figured, you know what? Instead of drilling by hand, let me just try to do it with the CNC, because it's kind of a lot of holes. These holes are just for the hold downs for the work pieces. So the idea is to go through the spoil board, then go through the anchor board underneath, and then go ahead and take the anchor board and everything apart, and then drill out the anchor board to 3/8 so I can put in the threaded inserts. Let's go ahead and home. Alright, we've got this homed. Let's go ahead and get our probe out here. I'm referencing everything off of this left front corner, and I just felt like it was going to be easier for me to do that. So this is going to be a grid of holes, 4 inches in, 4 inches deep, all the way across in the X and Y. And these holes are just going to be for the bolts to go through that hold the hold downs into the anchor board. Let's probe Z. Attach the magnet, touch the block to the bit, continue. Probing complete. Okay, remove the probe, magnet, let's open up our file. Okay. Here we go. This is another one that I wrote that, like I said, I haven't never written these programs before, so I'm kind of expecting the worst thing to happen. So my hand is going to be pretty close to this emergency shut-off button here. Okay, here we go. Alright, I've taken my anchor board and my spoil board off, Put them back together. Now I'm just going to go ahead and drill these holes out bigger, 5/16, just so I have some wiggle room to stick the bolts down there when I attach my clamps. Oops, I made a large error. I thought that I had plenty of 1/4-20 threaded inserts. I only have 37 and I need 49 for this job, so we have to improvise. We're going to be putting in 1/4-20 T-nuts, and since I already drilled the holes in this thing for the threaded inserts, I'm going to have to use my Forstner bit and do a relief so that the end of the T-nut is sunk into the material and doesn't cause a bump. So I went ahead and grabbed this piece of scrap plywood, cut a hole in it with the Forstner bit, and I'm going to use this as a guide. Alright, I got all the T-dots set. Now for a quick sand and I'll be done with the bottom of the anchor board. Then I'll sand the top, we'll put it together.